Dude, you literally text us and then you fell asleep after. That's crazy.
Let's just say today was a pretty hard day.
Damn.
Alright, more on that later. Dude, those drawstrings are like super loud. Looks pretty dope. It's like neon lights.
These reflective. Anyways, welcome to the Panoramic podcast. We will start this podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, fam? It is, holy shit, I forgot. It's Tuesday today, I think. I am your host, Aristotle, joined by my two friends. One is a man who just woke up and just hibernated, Mr. Sick Nick. The other is lit up like a Christmas tree right now, according to the webcam. It looks pretty lit. Mr. SHAZAM himself. Take it away.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Panoramic podcast here, live, right here on YouTube, live from Panoramic Gaming. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tap the notification bell for more Panoramic Gaming. So, with that being said, before go with the show, I just want to send out a couple all birthday wishes to anyone who has like
the June babies.
To all June babies happening who has their birthdays. All the Geminis, happy birthdays, and happy birthday to Mrs. Etiquette, Miss Gretchen, happy birthday. And now let's go and get this show started, you guys. So with that being said, we're gonna change up the format just a little bit tonight because I'm gonna put daily happenings first because I had to say this, or I had to tell this story before it gets watered down. So this is a quick daily happening, right? So last night, we're supposed to have this podcast last night, and what it happened was it was a perfect sting operation too. Like I was like all set, ready to go. Air
up until
Air was online perfectly. Nick was just about to get online and stuff until a Discord call. Yeah, a direct Discord call from Air was like, tell me, oh, come outside. I was like, wait, what? So I come out.
What's going through your head right there?
I was like, so.
Wait, what?
So I was like, what? What the fuck is going on? So I was like, okay, cause I see a camera, I see Cheryl, I see the car. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I have my fist. I have my fist going like this. So I was like, what's going on here? And then from a good attempt out of nowhere, not failed, well, sort of failed. Nick tried to kidnap me, but had a nice birthday surprise from both Air, Nick, and Cheryl, and so again, sorry we missed the podcast on that Monday night, but that's okay. That's because we're here to make it up right here, right now. So, but the more important is what I tweeted out this morning and what it pertains to last night. So last night we Air, Nick, and Cheryl decided to take me out on the Monday night over to was it Underdogs?
Yes, sir.
Underdogs. What do you call it? Is it like a karaoke bar kind of deal?
Karaoke bar and grill, yeah.
Karaoke bar and grill. And overall, nice environment, interesting, kind of pretty dark.
Killer soju.
Oh, very killer. Thank you very much. Very killer soju. I had multiple shots that night.
You might have had a little too much, but
I had a little too much, but I'm gonna fast forward through that story really fast. So it was a good time. Had a lot of shoju shots, but what had happened was I started to feel all fucking woozy and shit. And sorry, excuse my language. I started to feel all woozy and shit, and then like I was going to the bathroom. At first, I thought I was gonna puke, and then Nick comes in and says if I was okay or something. I was like, yep, I think I'm okay and shit. And I started feeling extra woozy. I started to head outside, and I sat at Cheryl's car all sat down and looking all passed out and shit. And wow, what a good timing. So went home that night. After Nick dropped me off, thank you by the way, Nick, for taking me home. I actually got upstairs. So one thing for anyone who has ever been like drunk or had way too much to drink, no one should ever lay down on their back.
Nope. Gotta move around.
I had to move around because I made the mistake of laying on my back, and I
Don't
felt
close your eyes.
that too. I made the dear mistake of laying down on my back, and then all the shoju or whatever the freaking Kahlua nachos I had was coming right up, and it was like, oh, I can feel the barf. And I straight ran to my bathroom, and I fucking barfed.
Shit.
Barfed my brains out
In the toilet or the sink?
in the toilet.
Damn.
And then I was like, oh fuck. I was like, oh shit.
What time was it?
This, if I'm not mistaken, this hit the midnight hour.
Oh man.
Right at midnight. So, and then I slept okay, and after that, like, okay, great. I slept okay for like the next till later that morning. When I woke up, I started to feel fucking sick again, and then
Really?
yeah, which is weird, which is so freaking.
Usually when you throw up the night before, you should be good to the morning.
No, but the really weird trippy shit was like, I started to feel sick again. I was like, oh fuck.
Shit.
It was like it's like a freaking like an aftershock of an earthquake, you know?
Oh yeah, the mini quake.
And then
You went to work or?
I went to work.
Okay.
I still went to work, all hung, and
Damn.
I still made it through this day alive.
Some birthday.
So again, thank you, Air, Shadow, and Nick for taking me out on my 26th birthday. You guys rock. Love you guys. Awesome.
Of course, no worries. I didn't expect you to get hangover twice, but yeah, it was fun. It was a fun night.
So that's just one change we're doing to daily happenings here, because tonight on this podcast I am going to introduce a new segment.
Ooh.
I'm going to introduce a new segment where I'll probably introduce it right after personal achievements of this week and last. But let's go ahead and jump right into the curious questions here. So, speaking of curious questions, as you guys know, we were talking about it last night too, and we want to get your guys' thoughts about E3, which is happening this week. So actually still going on. So your thoughts on E3, games that you guys are actually excited for and whatnot, or excited, or even just just simple, just looking forward to.
Okay. You can go first, Phil, since you've been keeping up with all the news.
So as far as everything else goes, I'm not a huge Xbox fan, but I'm actually kind of interested in the Project Scarlet, console, which looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So it again that and.
I think they'll call it by the end of it. Xbox 2 or
it's either okay because if they already did Xbox One X, right?
Yeah.
So I would say Xbox 2, right?
Xbox 2X. I don't know. That would be the logical way to go.
Xbox 2X, or because isn't that how they would Project Scorpion until
Yeah.
So I would say
8K graphics. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, and then it has an actual SSD drive.
Yeah, that's insane.
So
That's the first time ever, yeah, in a console.
So that's actually pretty nuts to do. I mean, you could probably swap out like in previous but now
Great.
now there's like actual like SSD like an SSD made
Inside,
made for the system.
in the motherboard. So man, PS4's or PS5 will have some competition next year
Oh, guarantee,
or next couple of years.
guarantee. So
I'm sure Nintendo won't reveal theirs for like another couple of years. They're just chilling with the Switch.
but the one game that kind of caught my eye a little bit, and I've heard about it a couple of times until they dropped the actual trailer. It's you guys might have seen it on Facebook too. It's Cyberpunk 2077.
Hell yeah.
So obviously we all know that John Wick appeared at the end, but not just kidding. But no, Keanu Reeves comes in at the end and says, "Wake up, you fucking samurai! We got cities to destroy." So I was like, what the fuck? So and
No one saw that coming.
and the likeness of Keanu, or that likeness of Keanu looks so badass in that game.
The robot arm.
Yeah. So
I mean, like people say, Keanu Reeves is a vampire, and that's more evidence for you.
there you go. So, but yeah. So as far as that's it. As far as like the Xbox stuff, looking forward to some of the games. I know for a lot of fans for Halo Infinite, Gears 5 on the way, and then of course, the following day after we had. Sorry, I'm always gonna botch the name Bethesda, whatever. So
Okay.
I'm always gonna botch it.
I'm not gonna correct you. It's fine.
I'm a botch machine, so it's fine. So,
Uncle Botch.
Uncle Botch. So So hashtag Uncle Botch
There you go.
is happening. So let's get that trending. Hashtag Uncle Botch. So
Nice.
So far, based on some of the news I got from the Bethesda presentation, so it looks like Doom Infinite makes me want to go play Doom 2016 now.
Doom Eternal.
Or sorry, yeah, Doom Eternal makes me want to go play Doom 2016 now.
Do it, man.
So
Do it. You will not regret, especially on the Switch, man. Play on the go or something.
right, so that is something that looks pretty.
It's a little. It might be a little fast paced for you because you told me before you get a little woozy playing first person.
I do, and I still get it.
Yeah.
So,
But no, this game is really fun.
so definitely look for that. And then, me and Nick talked about this in the car last night, and when I mentioned the news about Fallout 76 Battle Royale, this is what Nick said. Yo, Nick. So
That's your cue.
when I mentioned the words Battle Royale, Fallout 76, your thoughts?
I was like, they're out of ideas.
They
Totally,
gave up.
evidently out of ideas. Wow.
I mean, at that point, is it even Fallout anymore?
No, it's not. It's not Fallout. Why would you call it Fallout?
Yeah. Oh, Battle Royale.
So,
I mean, games like PUBG and Fortnite, they can stay. They're good as battle royales because that's how they started off as. But once you start giving up into social norms, which most of the time social norms are, pretty shitty to begin with, then you've completely lost your unique identity as a whole. Don't even call me your father at this point.
Damn. Savage as always. But you're right. But there's a little part of you kind of want to experience it. At least try it out. Like a 1%. Like, hey, let's see what's going on here.
I would say maybe 0.1% wants to experience it. But that's it.
Okay. So you try one game and just quit it.
Yes, exactly. Because Battle Royale in Fallout is completely pointless.
Yeah,
It was never
we'll
it was never a part of Fallout to begin with.
True.
okay, then Nick, I ask you this question. if you were in charge, if you were in charge of like the creative behind creative for Fallout, what would you do for the next E3? What would you do? Would you remaster a certain title, or would you rather create a whole universe?
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm out of ideas, I see no problems with remastering Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I really think though, if Skyrim can get a remaster, who's to say Fallout 3 and New Vegas doesn't deserve it? Those games totally deserve a remaster.
Okay, fair enough. So there you go. So there you go. So let's hope to get Nick for Fallout Creative.
You know, it'd be really cool though, but might be a little cringy at the same time.
What's up?
Assassin's Creed Battle Royale.
You know, actually,
Think about it.
they kind of do that already.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the multiplayer tends to be extremely tense because as an assassin, you have to be hidden amongst the crowd. And I actually experienced this just by watching, an Assassin's Creed multiplayer playthrough. And the moment this person got caught, I mean, yeah, they got caught and then they get stabbed right out of nowhere, and I was like, wow, this is 10 times more tense than what PUBG can do.
Well, not only that, but hasn't that stuff started since or they kind of started that idea with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then they actually tried to refine it in like Assassin's Creed Unity.
Sorry, I haven't played any of those games, so.
Oh, for real? Oh,
I'm kind of late.
Oh,
I did play Brotherhood a little bit, but I didn't get the whole battle royale feel.
Well, I think it was like a kind of like a what do you call like an initial start, I guess. So they kind of had that initially started. I was like, huh, that. So, but if they were to if Ubisoft were to do like an Assassin's Creed like a legit battle royale, then it better be one hell of battle royale. Like you better have like some really sneaky shit, or like you gotta do something that's like not
out of the box.
Yeah, out of the box, not literally copy paste from any other battle royale.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's another thing with Fallout 2. Like, sure, that's fine. You can put battle royale in there, but you gotta make it your own. You know, like put some of Fallout twists in there to make it Fallout, not just another, like you said, copy and paste battle royale.
Yeah. But so far. Oh, and yeah. So segueing to today's presentation. I thought the Nintendo presentation was okay at most. I first of all, I'm really happy for Luigi's Mansion 3 because that looks so cool.
Hell yeah.
That looks so cool. You're able to slam ghosts with your new vacuum machine. So that one looks pretty cool.
Let's see.
Oh, so from out of nowhere, they had Witcher 3 coming to the Switch now.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is this real? And then I kept watching. Holy shit.
So
that's an awesome concept, but I don't know how it'll run because the game is very demanding on a little console like that.
So I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a cash grab kind of thing, but
maybe. But the true hardcore fans will still play it for sure.
Okay, fair enough. So that was actually pretty interesting. So there is confirmation for Breath of the Wild 2. So it is in development. There's also several updates coming in for certain games, but the main update I think a lot of us were kind of hoping for was more DLC reveal for Smash Ultimate.
And let's get it out of the way. We all called it BanjoKazooie. Finally,
BanjoKazooie
Switch or coming to Smash.
Well, I was really hoping for Waluigi.
Maybe the next one, but I think let's get Banjo out of the way first, because you know everyone's been wanting this since day one. So you should have been there since day one.
Yeah. So
So
And looks
Banjo's no longer with Microsoft, and I guess no, Banjo started with Nintendo and then went to Microsoft, but now they're back on Nintendo. So
and
welcome
then,
back home, Banjo.
right? And then I don't know if it and his I was trying to analyze his his moveset. Like it's basically it's basically Duck Hunt.
It is pretty much, huh?
It's basically a Duck Hunt moveset.
Looks very similar for sure.
Like if you
Because they both have the bird thing.
yeah. And then like when you recover, it's like that's literally the Duck Hunt recovery.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Mixed with a little bit of King Karoo King Karoo
yeah.
recovery a little bit, just a little
Some
bit.
villager.
And some and some villager too. I was like, what the
But
hell?
we'll see if he's high tier or not. Still, right now the best DLC has to be Joker. Not even close.
Joker is at first I was like, huh? Who is this person? But when you start playing, like,
Yeah.
oh damn, he's actually pretty damn good.
Yep.
So
I beat Dios Gandorf 3 times in a row, so
which was nuts. So, but overall, Nintendo E3 Direct. Okay.
what do you score it? A through F.
As an A through F presentation, C plus.
Fair enough. I'll give it B minus.
C plus.
I was waiting for Metroid, but I guess next year. But I give it B minus.
But they announced Metroid like back in 2017. Like I don't think I don't think you're just gonna leave everyone on like on a really dry spell.
A long cliffhanger.
So, oh my goodness. But whatever.
But we'll see. Now PS4. Now it's up to PlayStation to steal the show later on this year.
Yeah,
But we're all waiting for Last of Us 2.
Yeah, and it sucks that PlayStation is not even happening at E3, which is so weird. But I guess
Yeah, they signed out of it a while back, a couple years ago maybe.
Okay.
So it's just been Microsoft and Nintendo.
Okay. But so far, okay. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Anyways, all right. Sorry. That's our thoughts on the current state of E3.
Well, I want to ask Nick real quick. Nick, what games are you looking forward to? In general, comment it out.
I'm not sure what games are coming out.
Well, confirmed or not confirmed, just in general as a gamer, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm curious to see what the next Elder Scroll game is gonna be like, because it's pretty much confirmed that there's gonna be an Elder Scroll 6, but I have yet to know a bit more about the game. But that's about it. I don't know any other game right now that's coming out that I might be interested in.
So in the horizon, just pretty much Elder Scrolls 6. That's it.
If you're talking about what I'm even remotely interested in, then yeah.
What about Fallout 5?
What about Fallout 5? There hasn't been a word. If there is gonna be one.
I know. I'm talking hypothetical here, dude. Just as a gamer, are you?
If there is a
would you
Fallout
be looking forward to
5,
that?
if there is a Fallout 5, it better be like a redemption game for Bethesda, because Fallout 4 was successful, but it's not exactly the greatest game for the fan base. But if Bethesda can get their act together and stop being so greedy, I think as long as they do Fallout 5 right, where it doesn't feel like a first-person shooter and it's back to its RPG roots, I definitely think there's a chance for the Fallout universe to come back to its glory days.
Okay, since we're still in the hypothetical realm, as a Fallout OG fan, I guess, would you consider maybe like a co-op, like traveling through the desert, or whatever, post-apocalyptic world with your friend,
Like a what?
scavenging?
What the fuck?
What happened?
No, you're lagging.
Huh?
I'm lagging or
Yeah, I didn't get what you just said.
Who's lagging?
me?
Okay, no, my bar is like my 3 bars that says voice connected. It keeps going from orange to red.
Okay,
and
that's
back
on your
to
side
green.
then. Was that lagging
Anyway,
though?
Mine was like lagging for like a short bit, but it was everything was able to go back
No,
up.
when I was talking, was it lagging?
Nope.
Okay, it's on your side, Nick. Sorry. Did you catch it? What is that?
not quite. No, I didn't.
No, I was just like putting out the idea of like like a co-op experience, Fallout. Scavenging the world with your friend. Would that be something you'd be looking forward to?
Probably.
Like a open world role playing.
Sure. I mean, again, as long as they
Stick
do
to
the
its
game
roots.
engine right, and yeah, stick to the roots. Like Obsidian, they stuck
Yeah.
with using with Fallout 3's game engine, along with adding weapons that technically isn't supposed to exist in the Fallout
Oh, yeah.
universe. And the game was
That was
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Everybody loved it. I don't see why Bethesda, I don't see why they shouldn't be following in the same footsteps. I mean, Obsidian, who technically, well, I don't even know if they actually did do the other Fallout games, but regardless whether they did or not, they did it right. I don't see why Bethesda should be fucking up like this.
It's kind of weird because Bethesda did start the Fallout universe.
Yeah.
1 through 2, right? The first 2 games.
Uh-huh.
And then they took like a long 10-year hiatus, and then Obsidian took over with Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and they killed it.
Yeah.
Like
I
they
think-
remastered. That's a real reboot. Perfect reboot.
I think Bethesda, when they came back, there's like, oh crap, Obsidian is
Yeah.
they're basically
Stealing our
taking
sun.
our spy away from us. And I'm thinking, if they're stealing it away from you, that's because there's something you guys did absolutely terribly wrong. And
Yeah.
whatever it is, you better do it right in the next game. Otherwise, you don't deserve to be, the creative masters of the Fallout universe. Have Obsidian take over instead if you guys are gonna screw up like this with crappy Fallout games like Fallout 76. Because when I first heard that and saw the trailer, it looked promising. Only to find out that the whole community of Fallout is basically, saying this game sucks. Fuck you, Bethesda.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Bethesda is looking more for money, like obviously cash grab, rather than looking into the fans' wants and needs.
And that's exactly what's going to cause their downfall. Greed.
Yep. So hopefully Obsidian comes back and helps out a little bit, maybe. 'Cause
Helps out.
They did it
They
the
might-
right. Oh, wait.
They might as well take over.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's
but-
it's so stupid how Fallout 76, a fairly hyped game among the Fallout fans, turned out to be a massive disappointment. If I was to compare what it was like, it's like Disney buys the rights to Star Wars and they completely scrutinize they completely retcon the universe to complete scrutiny. Hello, Rian Johnson. In fact, that's a very good comparison. Bethesda is the Rian Johnson of the Fallout universe.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's
But,
a fair. That's,
we'll
that's a
see.
fair
New
statement.
Year's coming.
Okay. Right on. Okay, so looks
Nick, you got a question?
Nope.
Really? Wow.
okay. Well, I guess we're gonna switch over to Air's question real quick right here.
Sorry, going to a very I guess a serious tone here. Coming from video games. So let's just put our serious hats on and change the mood.
Okay.
This question started with me reading the news a couple days ago, or maybe last week, about Robin Williams' death and the going behinds of it. And one of the last quotes he had was, "Life just got too easy." like a couple months before his suicide, parent suicide. And I posed the question to you guys: is life meant to be hard, or at least challenging? If it was easy, would you still have the will to go, to keep going? It's kind of a very serious question.
Okay. All right.
Put your take on it.
Trying to spotlight on me. Okay. To answer that question, is life meant to be hard? First part of the question, yes. It is meant to be hard. It is meant to be challenging, because that's what tests your decisions, your will, your fortitude. Because if you choose the easiest way out, and you kind of just like go with the motions, then no point of trying to succeed in anything in life.
And that's how you grow as a person.
So, and exactly, sure, certain bad decisions will happen, mistakes will be made, but that is just part of the big ball of human life. And yeah, I mean, who is not to say that life is gonna be easy and everything's gonna give it to you on a silver platter? Hell to the fucking no. Hell to the fucking no. It's a survival of the fittest. As cliche as that term or that phrase sounds, it's kind of true. Once you it's actually not kind of, it's true. Once you basically zoom past adult, or what, like the second you basically graduate and shit, like graduate high school, it's a freaking different ball game from there. Because there's endless decisions and endless possibilities of what could or could possibly happen. So
well said.
Okay, and to answer your second part of the question, if it was easy, would you have the will to keep going? If it was if it was easy, that's a good one, dude. Because like, man, I don't want to sound complete. I don't want to switch my tone here and sound completely depressing here, but
no, that's fine. That's the point of the question.
But
like the old adage says, it's the destination, or sorry, it's the journey, not the destination, right? That you get the most fun of, because once you finish the journey, and you're at the end, like what now?
It's
too easy.
Okay, yeah, right. So what would you have to will to keep going? Part of me says I'm gonna answer this with a yes and no question, or a yes and no, not a yes and no question. Yes and no answer. Yes, I would keep the will. I would try to have the will to keep going, only because plant the seeds for the next future generation. Because once you're gone, you gone, bro. That's it. Unless somehow you're resurrected by a magical amulet and shit, but no, but we don't live in that kind of world, so too bad. My no answer to this question is no. I would keep going, because if I feel like I did accomplish everything, then what point? What is there? Like, I'd be kind of doubting myself. I'd be in the state of doubt of like, what do I have left to go? Like, I did everything, but I'll keep like asking that question to the day I die. Like, is there something else I could have done, or something I could change? Like, that would be like the most constant question. And then if I just keep asking that question, I just let things just flow by, then I'll end up like not having a great death or a great passing. So that is my answer to your question there.
Okay, I like that. What about you, Nick?
Hold on. I'm just I'm I'm typing a message to someone on Facebook. But anyway, is life
We're doing a
meant
podcast,
to be
right?
hard? Well, I tend to have a lot of people talking to me, but anyway,
Okay, go
is
ahead.
life meant to be hard? And if it was easy, would I have the will to keep going? This is, well, to me, this is actually a pretty complicated question because there are times that I wish life was a bit easier, but that's just wishful thinking at best. And if it was any easier, I'd probably be a much worse person. At the same time, because of that, if life was easy for me, I'd probably be a much less mature person. And I probably wouldn't be growing, as you guys said, in life, which is the goal for a human being. They have to grow throughout the years. And I'm not just talking about, growing old, but growing up. I guess it actually reminds me of this adage that I heard in high school. Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is growing up is optional. And to me, that's actually true. I had many opportunities to be the biggest asshole on earth whenever I felt like it. But
Sorry, Nick. I'm going to interrupt your story, but you guys can keep the conversation going. I have to go pick up my sister, so keep the show running. I'll be right back.
okay. Anyway, 95% of the time, I chose not to be an asshole because I know what the consequences would be if I was to be an asshole, and I know what it's like for someone to be an asshole towards me. And because I'm generally very empathetic with most people who are decent acting people, I'd say I've grown quite a lot despite whatever hardships was thrown my way. I mean,
Right.
to me, I guess when it all comes down to it, whether it's pleasure or, to me, this is my thinking. Whether it's pleasure or pain, nothing lasts forever. A nightmare has its time, but there will always be a time where you will wake up and find out that this nightmare was nothing more than a dream. And every time I go through a bad patch, whether it's something very small or something very big, like whenever I have one of my random depression episodes, which is,
What do you mean random? It just happens randomly, or is there a reason behind it?
it's there's a reason behind why I get depressed, but it just comes up out of nowhere and when I least expect it. But
You
to
have your up
me-
days and your down days.
yeah, exactly. To me, they're nothing more than nightmares that I just hope is not going to come true. Because I do enjoy life, even though even though I don't really show it very well. And honestly, I can't think of a better time in my life than where I am right now. Because when I was in high school, I was never in a band. I was never, I never had a significant other. I was single my whole life during that time. And I never had friends who actually, like the things that I do. I mean, I did, but, the jackasses who were my friends in high school, they all left without saying goodbye. Without even saying goodbye. So, fuck them. Whatever.
Well, let's look at it from a different perspective. Us in high school, most of our friends are the same age usually, right?
Yeah.
Usually. And at that time in our life, that point of our life, we're very immature, young idiots, right? running around with their heads cut off. So in that, it's a very growing stage at that point in our life. So nobody's probably perfectly happy as we are now in our mature stage, right? So we're just surrounded by negativity, pretty much. You are who your friends are.
Yeah,
In a
I
way.
guess you can say that. I
So
mean,
now that you're in this stage of matureness, your friends like me and Phil, for the most part, we're mature now, right?
yeah,
So you kind of tend to be the same way, We feed
sure.
off each other.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, as honest, I mean this can kind of relate to my bandmates too.
Mhm.
I never took my musicianship very seriously, mainly because there weren't other people other than my brother and my dad that were kind of like my counselors almost. I never had people that kind of pushed me to say, "Hey, Nick, you should practice this part when you're by yourself." And now here I am saying, "Hey, Nick, you're doing a good job." I mean, even though you don't seem like you don't know the song very well, you tend to follow on pretty quick. So
Wait, who
good
said
job. Well, Ronan didn't exactly say it like that, but
that? Oh,
for someone who plays bass, he actually finds it very fascinating, I would say. Same thing for my brother Deether and my dad. All three of them.
alright.
They find it very fascinating in how quickly I learned to be a decent bass player. Because back in August of 2018, I was a complete noob. I had no idea what a root note was when it came to playing bass. For me, the only way I would learn how to play, the bass is if I look at the tabs, which often to me were very difficult and very frustrating. But the secret of playing the bass to me is to know what the root notes are, and and if you work with your guitarist and your drummer, if you know the tempo of the song, and your guitarist tells you the chord is, say, for example, A minor or A flat, or I'll just keep it at A minor for simplicity's sake. For me as the bass player, I had to play the A major root note, and when I just follow the chords of the song with the guitarist while also keeping in the same beat as the drummer, I thought, hey, this actually sounds pretty good. Just sounds just like the song. And from there, that's when I realized, being a bass player, or to me, being a bass player, I never thought it was actually something like this. I thought they had to do something really complex, for the song. But in reality, that's not necessarily the case. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, in life, there are, it seems hard, but that's because you're looking in the wrong place. If you stay the course, you'll find what it is that you're looking for, and you'll be all the better for it once you realize it's a good thing that I actually took the harder road.
For sure. So sometimes you just gotta feel like you need something to keep pushing you. You need like an end goal somewhere.
Well, to me, it's either that, or, well, this can work both ways, really. Like I said, as a bass player, the way I first learned how to play bass, it was really frustrating because it was tab notations, which I had very little knowledge on what the 2 and 3 on the bass fret actually meant. Until I started learning the fret a bit more. Basically, I put myself in bass playing 101, in elementary school, kind of. But to me, looking back at it now, I just realized that, as a musician, the reason why I started off a bit rough on my instrument is simply because I was looking at the wrong place just to learn a song.
Right.
And yeah, from there, once I realized, why not I try playing with chords instead, or why not I try looking at chords and lyrics while playing the root notes of the song. Things actually became a lot easier, kind of like exercising. So it starts off shit, but if you discipline yourself and you keep going, everything becomes easier. That's my 2 cents about this.
So do you think you learn more from your mistakes than anything?
I think so.
So yeah, okay. Let's look
In
at
fact,
it.
In fact,
Sorry, go ahead.
when it comes to making mistakes, I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, you made a mistake. You're not supposed to do this." Well, let me put it this way. I mean, yeah, let me put it this way. At work, your bosses will tell you you're supposed to do this, this, and this. And that's because they have the experience. They know what it is. I mean, they know how to play the
They've been
game. And, because of that, you're supposed to trust them at their word. But if it's just you by yourself and you make a mistake and someone judges you for it, I guess what I would like to say to those people that judge you by making one small mistake,
Yeah.
I'd like to ask them, did life come with, instruction manuals? Because I wasn't born with one. And how exactly are you supposed to, learn from that if you didn't even know about it in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if we were perfect beings, mistakes would be not even mistakes. Mistakes would be completely irrelevant. But if we make mistakes, and we learn from it, to me, if you make a mistake and you learn from it, you're growing. But if you make a mistake and you keep doing it again and again and again, you're a goddamn retard.
Let's call it insanity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do the
exactly.
exact same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if you make a mistake and you do it right again, that means you're learning, and that's the pathway to success. But if you make a mistake and you do it repeatedly, you're a goddamn retard. No question about it.
I mean, retard is a strong word, but
I don't
guess
care.
so.
I'm just saying it as it is. If you make a
Fair
mistake repeatedly, even though you know you're supposed to do it in a different way, you're a retard. You gotta get your head checked, man.
Fair enough. Phil didn't say anything. What time he's coming back, right?
Nope.
Shit. Okay. How do you want to keep the show going here?
Oh boy. I guess we could go to video games and streaming. Although right now I don't really have anything new going on with video games. I mean, I have been playing a little, but not that much, because this,
Busy.
my second lady right here has been keeping me a little bit busy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Doing some finger action.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, you practicing for a new gig or something? Or a new set?
More like I'm trying to learn a new song by myself. I guess the one
the personal mission.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know about you, but once you pick up an instrument and you start getting used to things, like you're at that level where, okay, I gotta play this chord, I gotta keep the beat and all that, and you pretty much know at least the basics of how you're supposed to play the song.
Right.
Playing an instrument is pretty much like playing a video game. You'll get addicted to it over time. And that's why I haven't been playing as much games as I used to, is because of, the instrument that I have right next to me. And I believe, playing an instrument is a lot more productive than playing video games, because video games, you beat them and you get bored and you want a new game. But for an instrument, you go through a phase in the instrument. Like, let's say you start learning how to hop and slap and you pretty much master it. You're gonna want to learn something new. And the thing is, with the instrument, there's always something new to learn, no matter how far you get. Like, I bet you, even bass players like Paul McCartney, who has been playing the bass for decades, he probably, I bet you even he's thinking that, he wants to learn something new on the bass, even though he's playing it for who knows how long already. Instrument levels, they don't stop. There's always a new door to open.
Right, but I think it's just a general outlook of things. But look at it from another perspective. Like, I think professional musicians really are the only ones that really, get better or get success from practicing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just like playing for fun or in a, no offense, like a local band, then you'll get better and stuff, but you're not getting anywhere, worldwide.
Yeah, I know. I mean, right now I'm okay with that because, the band as a whole is only 6 months old, and I don't expect to get anywhere I don't expect to gain, successful traction in a year, because I know, the music life doesn't work that way. It might take a year, it might take 2, it might take 3, maybe it might even take 10. But honestly, I'm in it for a ride. The money would sound nice, but to me, my reasoning for, I'm playing music for the money is just shallow reason. Yeah. It's like, it's to me, it's like, what are you even doing playing music if you're just in it for a cash grab? That's not how it should be at all. The money is nothing more than a reward deserved for a job well done. But as far as, getting better, money won't really take you anywhere, in that perspective anyway.
Yeah, not really. Like, the passion that you started it with should end that way too, Yeah. The love you had for music should always be the same, and
yeah, exactly.
You should never deter from that.
Yeah.
Even for money. And I guess same with video games, because nowadays you've heard of esports, right?
Sure, definitely.
People just spending time just practicing all day to get better, and they're earning money at the same time. So, like you said earlier, music is more productive than video games. In this day and age, that's actually debatable.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Because some people are more productive playing video games, but it all depends on your situation. Nobody's the same.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing is, music has always been a form of productivity, whereas video games only recently became at least remotely more productive than it was before.
Yep. I'd say the golden age of music is probably like the Renaissance era, when everybody played an instrument pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you had the great composers like Mozart, Beethoven, people like that, and that was just the golden era of music. That's what you live for,
Yeah.
Like, that's what made you money, that's what got you famous, that's what got connections. So
yeah, but to me, my personal favorite era of music, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this by now.
70s?
60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Maybe early 2000s, maybe.
So do you think the British invasion was the most important thing to happen in modern music?
I definitely believe so. In fact, as an American, I can't deny that that Britain, for the past, I would say the past 30 years before the early 2000s came along, they essentially ruled the music world. Because without bands like the Beatles, Queen, Led Zeppelin, The Who, rock and roll, I guess, in that particular stage, it wouldn't be where it is now. Although, well, I would say now, as in like, back then, but as in now, it's kind of hard to hear, rock and roll on the radio these days.
Yeah.
Which is why, musically speaking, I prefer living in the past.
Well, living in the past is one thing, but you can always listen to the past. Even in this day and age.
Yeah, I know.
But-
That's why I said musically speaking. Like, I don't like the music that we have now, but from back then, they did it right.
Right. But I mean, I don't think you wouldn't want to live in the '60s because the world back then was a hateful place. I mean,
I
it
know.
still is today, but it's gotten a little better than the '60s. It
Yeah,
was very much segregated. The whole world was anyway. Even the music was better. But
I'd
the
say
world at the time
I'd
was-
say it kind of depends
That's good.
in the world that you live in, because for guys like the British during that time, they weren't as bad as the Americans. I would say,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they were still bad, just not as bad as the US was.
It's just obvious that Americans have just more pride in them.
Yeah, they're
That often gets in the way of everything, really.
yeah. I mean, as an American, I can actually see why they, America didn't exactly rule the music world like the British did.
Really?
Well, there are some good American bands out there, but to me, without denial, I definitely think the British invasion was a huge, I guess, a huge event for
Right.
the music industry as a whole. Because without the
Right.
music, without the British invasion, rock and roll wouldn't have gained, great prominence.
Well,
even
there
though
was,
it's-
Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Buddy
Yeah,
Holly before them, but I feel like the Beatles was the first band to push that genre,
yeah,
into
definitely.
what it is today. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, if anything, those guys you said, Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry, they were just hidden gems among a
Yeah.
mountain. Whereas, the British bands like Queen and the Beatles, they were pretty much, a gold mine already.
Yeah, they were the whole mountain, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the entire mountain is painted with gold from them.
Yeah.
Whereas Americans, they're a bit far and few between during those times.
Yeah, it's very shallow compared to what the British did. I feel their brand of rock and roll compared to the British rock and roll,
Yeah,
Because I feel like Queen and Beatles, their music is timeless. You can
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
it today and still learn from it too, if you
hmm
want.
and people still recognize. I mean, even younger generations today, they, some of the songs, at least I would say, they'll recognize. Oh, my dad used to listen to that band, the Beatles.
Yeah.
Or oh, I actually love that song, Bohemian Rhapsody. And I'm like,
Mhm.
how old are you again?
5.
Okay,
Not old
You-
enough.
you've been raised by awesome parents.
So, and this begs the question: do you think they should make, or they will make, a Beatles, Bohemian Rhapsody-esque movie soon?
Well, with movies like Yesterday, it's kind of gotten into a more compromised situation, because I've always believed that the Beatles deserve a biopic film,
Oh yeah.
but with their very distinctive looks, I would say,
And personalities, really.
yeah, their personalities, and I would say their faces, most especially. I have never seen any actor that could resemble any of them. Like,
Hmm.
once Ringo and Paul are gone, that's it. Nobody else is gonna look like them. So finding an actor to portray the Beatles in finding 4 actors to portray the Beatles in a biopic film is gonna be pretty hard. Whereas for Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, they they actually did a solid job in finding the right guys to play the parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Whereas
even though with Freddy, like I thought it didn't look quite exactly like him, and it shouldn't. But the thing with the mustache and the glasses, because it looks it looks pretty spot on. I gotta say.
yeah, I mean, I could definitely tell the difference between the real Freddy and
Oh, yeah.
the Freddy in the movie, but at the same time, they had a short list of actors. One of them who originally was going to be Sacha Baron Cohen, but because of
Yeah.
creative differences and clashes with the real life band members, he
Raimi
left the
took over.
project a long time ago, and Rami took over. And I would say it was actually a pretty big blessing for him, because now everybody knows who he is, and now everyone is taking his acting talent pretty seriously.
I mean, he got an Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know who Rami Malek was before until I saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I kind of did know who Rami Malek was, except I didn't even like,
You barely paid him
wasn't
any
really-
attention.
yeah, I wasn't really invested in his
No.
previous movies. But
Right.
when he became Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, I was like, whoa, this dude is the real deal. No doubt.
Definitely, yeah. That definitely caught on to a much larger market, because everyone knows Queen, everyone knows Freddy,
Mhm.
and everyone's gonna instantly think, "Hey, you're cool, man. You played as
Yeah.
Freddy." So
And
that-
people would be like, hey, can you do the Freddy talk again? They'll
wait, Freddy
probably
talk.
They'll probably be pestering him for that for years to come.
What's the Freddy talk?
Like whenever you end your sentences with dear or darling.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I call that the Freddy talk.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's definitely a Freddy thing.
Well, you know him already on stage, and to some extent his bandmates. He has a very flamboyant personality, but at the same time, at least based on his interviews, he's
Oh, yeah.
actually a pretty gentle guy.
Very outspoken, barely
Yeah.
talks, very humble.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, shit, man. I really wish I actually met him when he was alive.
I know.
Well,
and I thought the movie portrayed it pretty good. His
Yeah.
quiet side, his
Mhm.
personal side.
Yeah, like even though Freddy was a gay man,
Mhm.
there, like, when he found out, that when that scene came along where he found out that he had AIDS, I legitimately felt sorry for him. But at the same time, I was like, well, you did kind of deserve this one.
I don't
lie.
deserve, but I mean,
Well, I wouldn't say, ah ha ha, you deserve it, you're stupid. No, I was not like that at all. I was like, well, you kind of knew that this was gonna happen.
not really actually. Because back in the 80s, AIDS was never a predestined whatever. No, doctors don't know what it was. They didn't know how to cure it.
Oh.
Obviously, there's no cure, but
Okay, yeah, but I have to retract my statement there. But at the same time, AIDS. I would say AIDS wasn't understood, but
no.
people kind of knew that this was a new disease, and it's like, oh shit, you might want to watch what you're doing, kind of thing,
Exactly. Because it kind of blew up in the early 80s, and Freddy was already a gay man, I believe, by the mid 70s. I thought, maybe earlier than that.
Yeah, probably. I'd say
So-
probably earlier.
He was just so used to it, doing whatever he was doing, and by the time AIDS got public, he's like, "Fuck it, I'll just keep doing it. I'm already this far."
Yeah, I mean, and eventually, I would
Yeah.
say he
I guess that-
pretty much.
yeah.
He eventually he had to bite the dust. As
Wow.
sad as that statement is, but
Yeah.
again, there are consequences to pretty much anything you do, whether it's good or bad. And in this case, he kind of lived the fast lane a bit much.
Yeah, he was just a lot of under pressure, but it is what it is. The show must go on.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't
yeah.
want to disrespect Freddy in any way, but
No,
at the
no,
same
for sure.
time, as a human, he had to at least be a little aware of what he was doing.
I'm sure he was probably like by the mid '80s, especially when the AIDS tour came around.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he thought to himself, it's probably too late anyway. There's no cure. Fuck it. I'll just live my life
Yeah.
happy, end my life
I mean,
happy.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be that way too if I found out that I had cancer. Not AIDS, because I would never do anything that,
Right.
that I would contract AIDS from. But cancer, then that's a possibility that I could contract from, depending on what I might be doing.
Right. Would you change your life accordingly to try to prevent it, or just keep living whatever?
Well,
How you
if I knew about it already, like if I was aware that I had a disease that like I didn't know it was there, but I kind of had the hint of it before, and the doctors only confirmed my suspicions, then I would probably be like, you know what? I don't know how long I have left. Please, help me make my life a bit sweeter than it is now.
But that may not always, play to your like what the doctors say to you might not make you happy. You know what I mean? Like take this shot, take this pill. You're not gonna be happy for your last days. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
do what the doctor says. So I mean, would you might as well just keep on living like you were? At least you're
Yeah.
happy when you're dead.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
you die, you don't want to be suffering the last days of your life.
Yeah, I know.
That's the hard part. And I feel like that's how Freddy felt too
Yeah,
when he
for
got
sure.
AIDS.
I know any human being would be feeling like that.
Yeah, I'm sure his bandmates were probably like, Freddy, just do the best you can to live it, to the full.
Yeah. In fact, they even had to lie to the public about his health just to protect
Oh
him.
yeah. Yeah.
Which honestly, I can sympathize with that move. I mean, I'm not really, I wouldn't condone lying for, almost any reason, but for a guy who's, just to protect a friend, I'd still probably lie for them, even though it's, really gonna make me feel bad in the long run.
But you're doing it for them though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like the public didn't know that he had AIDS until, the video for These Are Our Lives came out.
Well, yeah, and well,
Because they're like, why does he look so skinny?
yeah,
And like,
yeah,
oh shit.
like pretty much everybody, had the suspicions, but the day before Freddy died, that's when he made that press release statement saying that he contracted the virus.
Right.
And then the following day, that was the last page of his story.
In a way, he wrote his own ending.
Yeah, I would say so. And honestly, not many people get to do that. So, yeah.
I'd say that's the Freddy way to go though,
Mm-hmm.
Very flamboyant. He just like, fuck it, darling, I'm going out with a bang.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Alright, Phil, I don't know where the hell he is. It's been about 30 minutes. You wanna take a take 5? Wait for Phil to get back?
Yeah, sure. I think we should. It's kind of
Alright,
weird how it's taking him this long just to pick up his sister.
I mean,
Unless she works somewhere else now.
I think it's like Kelly, but that shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I mean, going from Eva Beach to Waikele, he should be taking the freeway. Which I'm pretty sure he should know that.
Unless he fell asleep again on the wheel.
Good God,
Which honestly, I'm not even surprised at this point.
Don't. Please don't make me think about that. Please.
Some lasting effects from the soju last night.
Does it really do that?
If you have like a extreme amount, I guess. But I don't think he had extreme amount.
I don't think so
John
either.
Bonham taking 50 shots. Or at least I hope he wasn't. By the way,
Anyway,
have you heard of the game World War Z?
I've heard of the movie, but not the game.
Yeah, the game's pretty dope, man. It's like Left 4 Dead, but third person.
I
It's pretty
see.
awesome. Which I'll probably get to talking once we get to video games and streaming. Once Phil comes back. Sorry, you guys say something?
Oh no. Well, sort of. I was just gonna ask. What do you think of the photo that I put on our Google Docs?
Oh shit, I didn't see.
I think it's a nice a nice
Oh, it's on the
scrapbook.
bottom.
I would say. Yeah.
Nice. The Hurricanes.
Yeah. Well, the front man of the band, the one who's playing the ukulele, he asked me. I mean, he usually refers to the band as Jensen and the Hurricanes, but because he's an integral part of the band, like, a full member of the band, I'd say I might as well refer to them as the Hurricanes.
Right. There's something wrong with the synesthesia photo because it says from left to right, right?
Yeah.
I think you should switch Ronan and Kaleo.
Oh, fuck me. You're right.
Because I don't think Ronan is
Yeah, I know.
in the
I
middle.
know. I fucked up there. I'll
all
change. I'll re-edit that. Don't worry.
By the way, which gig was that in? Because Ronan's wearing like a very Western country look.
Last Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
And no, the reason why he decided to wear that country look is because after Meg, there was another person that wanted to sing along with us, and I like to think she's nothing more than a collaboration because she's the other singer that we were with. She's not really a part of the band anyway, but wanted to jam with us regardless.
Right.
So that's where we started playing the songs Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker and Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton, which, by the way, I'm actually in love with that song now. Tennessee Whiskey.
Is it like a very, fast country?
No, not at all. The exact
really?
opposite.
Oh.
It's very slow. You should give it a listen.
I feel like I've heard it before.
Here, let me.
Tennessee Whiskey.
If it's cool, I'd like to play the song.
Sure.
While I'm playing it on bass because the song is literally only 2 chords, A major and B minor. But yeah, it's a very slow country song with a little bit of rock in there, and
Okay.
honestly, I like that. I really like this song. Hold on. Wait, can you hear?
No. No, I don't hear anything.
Wait, what?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, let me try screen sharing then. I mean, well, okay, wait, hold on. I think there's a way I can work around this. Now, can you hear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on.
That's not a bass though. That's a guitar.
No, the bass is there.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Okay, maybe something's wrong with the speaker, because that is the actual bass line of the song. It's full of sustained notes.
It's playing from the speaker, right?
Yeah, my speaker.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's probably why. Because obviously the bass low frequencies are very hard to hear through small speakers, so that's probably why. But no, the guitar is going with the bass. I think it's like the same notes almost, pretty much, right?
Yeah, almost. Which is why
Dun, dun.
Yeah, but that's pretty much how the song goes. Very slow, but very twangy in nature.
That's definitely like something you'd hear at the bar.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I actually used to hear country music tends to be very depressing, And for a song like this, I can kind of see why. But if you look into the lyrics of this song, it starts off a little sad, but it actually becomes happy. Because the song is actually comparing, finding a woman who is as sweet as they would say, or as smooth as they would say, as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. And if you find a woman who's as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, you keep her. Because, a drink like that, I would say, is, I guess, a gold mine.
Yep, a dime.
Yeah. I mean, for someone who lived in Iowa, I'm pretty sure you're very familiar with this kind of music. Probably more than I am.
I love country music, dude. That's a small fact you know about me, or you don't know about me, or now you know about me. Oh yeah, I like the little guitar solo in the middle here, middle to the end, after the bridge. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's kind of how the song starts. But yeah, we did actually collaborate with one of Ronan's friends named Star, and she's actually one of those,
Southern?
She's one of those people. Well, not necessarily Southern. She doesn't really exactly have the accent, but at the same time, she goes into the Whiskey Dick's Saloon Country Club and does dancing with him and their friends there. And I'm not gonna lie, the vibe in Whiskey Dick's is something I'd love to be a part of if I knew how to dance.
Oh, it's not too late.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of uncomfortable with, practicing the moves with another woman. I'm not comfortable with that at all.
Really?
And that should to me, I think that's a good thing, because that should show you how I am as a man to his wife, because my wife is literally an ocean away from me, and the thought of me touching another woman, even though we're just practicing dance moves and nothing more, it still kind of bothers me a little bit.
So you're scared that you dancing with another woman might make you affectionate towards her?
Well,
or vice versa?
Or that too. That too could also happen.
Right.
I mean, I know it does depend on the individuals, but still, I'm very protective and cautious of my marriage, and I don't want to do anything that could possibly jeopardize it.
What if you dance with a guy?
Well, that would make things.
Does that change things?
Well, yes, but not for the better. It would just make it awkward.
I mean, it's just a dance. There's no emotions attached.
Yeah, I know.
You're just learning a craft.
I know. I mean, I did have to learn some basic moves by, actually getting hand to hand with another woman, and I was like, okay, I guess, yeah, teach me something. But if it's something like, like really cool dance moves where you do like dips and all this complicated moves to the music, and I'm dancing like that with another woman, I don't think Mia is gonna like that. Hell, she's probably gonna go raving psychotic.
Can you confirm that? I don't think she would.
Well, I'm exaggerating, but the point is, as a wife, she's very territorial in what belongs to her. Yeah.
And you can confirm this from meeting her in person.
Yes, she's very territorial with me. In fact, she even told me outright that if she sees me with another woman, of course, cheating on her, obviously, my nuts are gonna get cut off. She is threatening to cut off my nuts if I ever cheat on her. Yes.
In Ilocano or?
Does it really
English? Matter? No, I'm just wondering.
She said it in English.
I want to hear quote to quote.
Okay, I can't remember exactly what was said, but the point is, she will, without hesitation, cut my nuts off if
Jeez.
she finds me cheating on her with another woman.
How is the tone in her voice?
Very, very
Playfully
threatening.
or? Oh shit.
Well, she makes it sound playful, but the part where she says, "I'm going to cut your nuts off," she had that hand motion where she's going to grab a scissors and actually do it.
Okay.
And she's very serious about that. Like she will cut my manhood off if I if I turn out to be unfaithful to her, and I'm not. In fact, I was never unfaithful to anybody.
You were just played.
Hmm?
You were just played your whole life
Yeah, I was just played my whole life. That's it.
by many girls.
Well, a few, really. But one in particular played me worse than anyone else would.
Well, this is the true test then. You know, your marriage.
Yeah.
To see how
And-
faithful you are.
I'd say right now I'm succeeding.
I'd say so. But the true test comes when she actually comes down here, you know, in person, in physical form.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'll be back in about a couple minutes.
Okay. I'll just play along with this song.
Sure.
Then.
Used to spend my life There was the only love. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back. Yeah, far gone. Rest. Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a granny. Honey, I just know on your love all the time. I've looked for love in the same old places. Found a bottle of the bottles. But when you poured out your heart and wasted it,